SpaceX, Elon Musk versus Blue Origin, Jeff Bezos. As it is widely called, the billionaire race is the intense competition in new space by entrepreneurs who just entered the space world from other industries. They mainly have backgrounds in computing and customer service. This private space race involves sending suborbital tourists and other launch rockets to the ionosphere, thermosphere, and mesosphere. The two main big shots at the top of this intense rivalry are American billionaire Jeff Bezos, who owns Blue Origin and plans to establish an industrial base in space, and Elon Musk, a South African-Canadian-American behind the SpaceX project with the ultimate vision to colonize Mars and make it inhabitable by 2050. In this video, we will dig deep into the rivalry of these two giants of the world and their battle for the moon and space. Before we go deeper, don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification button. Now, let's go deeper. Blue Origin and SpaceX have had a long feud dating back to the early 2000s, with internal battles ranging from unveiling the first rocket to even as little as announcing innovations at events. These two billionaires have been throwing jabs at each other for years. For example, SpaceX and Blue Origin battled intensely for the right to lease LC-39A, a rocket launch platform that NASA used to launch the Apollo missions. However, Elon Musk's SpaceX won the right to lease, while Jeff Bezos had to concede defeat and rented the SLC-36 instead, a rocket launch platform. To send the final knockout blow, Elon Musk sued Jeff Bezos to invalidate their right to land rockets on board ships on the sea, claiming it was a stolen idea and Blue Origin did not have the right. The court granted their request in 2014, and SpaceX has been attempting to land rockets from the sea since 2014 and finally succeeded in 2016. Space is a vast space that only one rich with a vast amount of resources can take on. The possibility of a self-sustaining economy on another planet has been a solid seated possibility in the minds of these two billionaires. Of all the people preaching the possibility of self-sustenance, Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos ring the loudest and the most often. These two grand dreams are marked differently, yet have a few similarities. Even though they occasionally spar about the details, these two billionaires are very sure that either one of them will realize their dream first. Let us take an inept look at the ambitions of these two entrepreneurial giants. Elon Musk has been obsessed with Mars for decades. In 2001, a year before he earned $165 million from selling PayPal, Musk said he would send a spacecraft to the Red Planet soon enough. The goal of SpaceX was to send a sealed chamber on a spacecraft to Mars with seeds that would be viable enough to be planted and used on Mars. A pretty wild imagination. The chamber would be equipped with tools to take pictorial evidence and send them to Earth for observation. He thought the government would see the good in his dreams and fund him, but that was not the case as Congress turned down his proposal. However, the issues did not stop as Musk was hit by the reality of the cost of these space rockets, which went for $20 million per head. He then founded SpaceX to design reusable rockets that would cut costs. Jeff Bezos, meanwhile, had long been thinking long and hard about space colonies. He had taken an excessive interest in the concepts of an imagined colony in space by a physicist called Gerard O'Neill in the late 1960s. Bezos, just like O'Neill, believed that colonies would be established out of harvested materials in space and have Earth-like properties. Then, as Jeff Bezos started to amass his wealth, his friend, a sci-fi author, Neil Stephen, helped inspire him to form a space life company. Blue Origin was then secretly founded to lower the cost of getting people into orbit. Elon Musk again outwitted Bezos by describing his SpaceX vision with a lot more detail. Musk's core goal is to have a backup of Earth's civilization on Mars, just in case of a calamity or disaster, just like what we see in the movies. SpaceX developed the Falcon 9 rocket with reusable boosters to work towards that goal, which is the most extensive and most expensive in the world. These boosters will make it possible to land the Falcon 9 on Earth and Mars. These reusable boosters from SpaceX are by far equipped with the highest forms of technology the world has ever known, since they can be redirected and landed. Unlike others that are trashed in the oceans, Elon Musk further shared details about the SpaceX program by saying that they are working on a fully reusable rocket called Starship. which could ferry about 100 people into orbit at a time with the cost of $700,000. He said this price is low enough for people who want to live permanently on Mars. Can you afford it? Well, better start saving. Bezos, with his Blue Origin company, also shares a similar vision to that of Musk's. Bezos' goal is for Blue Origin to build a path to space. With his new rocket called New Glenn, which is scheduled to launch in 2022. Just like SpaceX's Falcon 9, New Glenn would have reusable boosters that could land back on Earth to be used for future missions, which will lower the cost of launches. Elon Musk, however, is way ahead in that department. New Glenn will be fully reusable, just like SpaceX's Starship. Still, Blue Origin is also developing a system called New Armstrong that might not waste any rocket parts soon, details that have been kept secret and away from the public. We would have to wait and see. For now, Jeff Bezos plans to get good launching and landing rockets since the others do not seem to be reaching orbit. His rocket, the New Shepard, is designed to fly past the edges of space in an arch, giving the tourists who pay millions a chance to see the Earth in all of its glory. Bezos says that he will have flying passengers in space before Musk does. Let us wait and see. Blue Origin is also aiming to be selected by NASA to be a commercial partner in the agency's strive to get astronauts back to the Moon in August 2021, with his innovation called the Blue Moon Lander. Bezos sees the Moon as a significant part of the journey to space and believes he will be the first to start this glorious expedition. He plans to use materials from the Moon to fuel his rockets to cut down costs. Bezos, however, admits the technology to attain these feats does not yet exist. Yet, he believes the new generation holds the key to that success. He created the Club for the Future program to help more children have a passion for space. SpaceX and Blue Origin are very similar in some ways. However, the feud to be the first to attain such a feat still goes on. So who will be the first to have a civilization on the Moon or be able to launch a 4-day tour in space? Let us wait and see.